You ever notice how some guys barely lift a finger, yet women can't seem to get enough of them? They aren't glued to their phones. They're not overanalyzing every little text, and they're not trying to impress her at every turn. They carry themselves with the kind of ease, almost like they don't have to prove anything. Meanwhile, you might be putting in all the effort texting first, checking in often, showing her you're reliable, kind, attentive. You think you're making all the right moves, and still, she treats you like an option, like your presence is nice but not essential. That's where most men get confused. They assume attraction is about effort, as if the harder you try, the more she should notice. But attraction doesn't work that way. It's not a reward for persistence or proof of being a good guy. Attraction is emotional. It's tied to how she feels in your presence and, even more importantly, how she feels when you're not there. The guys who seem to do less but get more aren't magicians. They've just stopped trying to win her with constant availability. Instead, they create an emotional imprint, something that lingers after the moment is gone. That's why she thinks about them at random times, replaying a joke they told, or remembering how calm they were in silence. It's not manipulation, it's alignment with human nature. When you understand that attraction has more to do with the feelings you spark than the effort you show, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start focusing on the experience you create. You realize it's not about convincing her to want you, it's about becoming the kind of man she can't help but want. And that shift is where everything begins. The first big shift you have to make is learning how to give emotional peaks instead of living on a flat line. Most men think that if they're calm, steady, and predictable, they're doing the right thing. They imagine that keeping things safe and stable is the path to being desirable. But stability without contrast doesn't create attraction, it creates comfort. And comfort on its own doesn't make her feel drawn to you. It makes her feel like you're just another reliable presence in her life. Desire comes from contrast, from moments that stand out against the background of her day. Think about when you've laughed with someone so unexpectedly that it caught you off guard. That little rush of energy sticks with you. Or the moment when silence between two people isn't empty, but charged with tension. The kind that makes your heart beat a little faster. Those are the moments she replays in her head. That's what emotional peaks look like. They don't have to be dramatic. They don't have to be constant, but they do have to break the flat line. If you can be playful one moment, serious the next, and then relaxed again, you're giving her a range of experiences that keeps her attention sharp. This isn't about being a clown or creating chaos. It's about being unpredictable in the best way, letting her feel something unique when she's around you. The truth is, emotional contrast is addictive. Her brain remembers the high points, the moments of laughter, tension, and curiosity, and starts to crave them again. If all you offer is predictability, she'll get bored no matter how nice you are. But if you can create those spikes, those highs that stand out, you'll stay in her mind long after you're gone. Another mistake most men make without realizing it is showing their entire hand too soon. When they meet a woman they like, they rush to impress her with everything at once: their funniest stories, their most vulnerable sides, their ambitions, their past struggles. They think being completely transparent will speed up attraction, but in reality, it kills curiosity. When someone feels like they already know everything about you, there's nothing left to discover, and discovery is the very fuel of attraction. Think about it. What keeps you hooked on a great book or a TV series? It's not that you know the ending, it's that you're drawn forward by the mystery of what happens next. Human connection works the same way. A man who reveals himself slowly, who lets his depth unfold layer by layer, creates space for her imagination to roam. She begins to wonder about him when he's not around. She catches herself asking, what's he like when he's alone? What else is he passionate about? What side of him haven't I seen yet? Those unanswered questions keep her invested, because her mind can't help but search for answers. This doesn't mean you should hide who you are or play manipulative games. It means you should allow things to unfold at a natural pace, instead of rushing. When you hold something back, not in a cold way, but in a confident, grounded way, you invite her to lean in closer. You give her the gift of discovery. The truth is, mystery isn't about being distant. It's about pacing. It's about knowing that the more there is left to explore, the more magnetic you become. And once you master that balance, you'll find she isn't just curious, she's hooked. The balance of presence and absence is one of the most overlooked parts of attraction, yet it's one of the most powerful. When you're with her, you need to actually be with her. That means noticing the little things most men ignore: the way her tone softens when she's excited, the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves, or the subtle shift in her posture when she's a little nervous. Responding to those cues in a natural way creates intimacy without forcing it. She feels seen, not in the generic "you look pretty" kind of way, but in a way that feels deeply personal, as if you noticed something no one else has. That's how presence becomes magnetic. But just as important is what happens when you're not around. A lot of men make the mistake of thinking closeness comes from constant contact, texting all day, always being available, never leaving her wondering. At first, that seems sweet, but over time, it smothers the spark. Desire needs space to breathe. When you're not instantly available, when you're busy living your own life, chasing your goals, and staying grounded in your world, you create a natural distance. That distance is not rejection, it's the fuel that makes her miss you. She starts to wonder what you're doing, why you haven't replied yet, or when she'll see you again. That curiosity makes her reach for you instead of the other way around. It creates a dynamic where your absence has just as much pull as your presence. The magic is in that balance, being fully engaged when you're with her, and fully engaged in your own life when you're not. That's what keeps her thinking about you long after the moment ends. What separates a man she remembers from a man she forgets is his ability to lead the energy instead of simply mirroring it. Most men fall into the habit of reacting. If she's shy, they get quieter. If she's playful, they try to match her tone. There's nothing wrong with matching, but it doesn't make you stand out. A man who can shift the energy, who can set the tone of the interaction, becomes unforgettable. Imagine a quiet moment where the conversation slows down. Most men scramble to fill the silence, but the man who leans into it, holds eye contact, and lets the tension build changes the entire dynamic. Suddenly, that silence isn't awkward, it's charged. Or picture a moment where she's teasing you. Instead of just laughing along, you respond with a smirk, maybe a playful challenge, and now, the mood is alive with spark. That's leading. It's not about controlling her or dominating the moment. It's about confidently guiding the vibe, so she feels safe, excited, and curious all at once. Real leadership is subtle. It's in the way you stay composed under pressure, the way you make decisions without hesitation, and the way your calm certainty sets the pace. Women pick up on these things instantly, even if they can't put them into words. It's this quiet strength that makes her lean closer, both emotionally and physically. When you combine that kind of presence with mystery, emotional peaks, and the balance of space and closeness, you become more than just another guy in her life. You become the man who leaves her replaying every moment. The one she can't stop thinking about. Attraction stops being effort, it becomes gravity. She isn't choosing to want you, she's pulled to you without even realizing why.